All right, so that's been outside Jimmy Kimmel's studios. Demonstrators gathered outside the theater where the show is taped. The Walt Disney-owned broadcaster said it was canceling the show after one major affiliate said it would replace the show and not run it on several affiliates right across the country. The head of the FCC had earlier urged the broadcaster to stop airing the show. With me now is James Turk, the director of the Centre for Free Expression. James, thanks so much for joining us on CTV News Channel in Canada.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
What was your initial reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's show being abruptly taken off the air?
Well, I wasn't surprised because since the death of Charlie Kirk, the MAGA movement and the U.S. government have mobilized, actually tried to weaponize his death and expand the divisions in the United States and go after those. And the president has been absolutely unambiguous about we have to go after those left-wing ideologues who are causing trouble, like the murder of Charlie Kirk. And, you know, in the introduction, you mentioned the head of the Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr, who's a close ally of Trump's. And he did something that's unprecedented for the Federal Communications Commission. That is, he made very clear in a directive, and I can quote it for you if you'd like, to ABC that either they cancel Kimmel or there's going to be action taken against them. And they're vulnerable. I mean, many of your listeners may not know that there's the broadcasting companies like ABC, and then there's the companies that own the television stations that broadcast it. And the biggest owner of ABC stations is before the Federal Communications Commission to get an extension so it can take over enough so it'll be broadcasting to 80% of the American population. And their approval for this, which causes a rewriting of the limitations, is before the FCC. And Carr is sympathetic, but his message pretty clearly was, unless you get rid of Kimmel, then you're not going to get your merger. So it has nothing to do with his ratings. His ratings are actually second only behind Stephen Colbert at 1.7 million. This has to do with actually state repression.
And from your perspective at the Centre for Free Speech, how concerned are you about the right to free speech being eroded or government intervention?
Well, I'm really worried. You know, this is a polarized time in Canada and in the United States. There have been polarized times before. People have strong feelings on one side or another. Things are particularly difficult now with social media, and everybody's a broadcaster and convey their thoughts, often anonymously. But what's unprecedented is what the Trump administration is doing, and that is using the full force of the American government to wade in and limit freedom of expression of those whose ideology, as he puts it, the president doesn't like. We haven't seen that before. So, you know, it's clear Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, as well as the Federal Communications Commission are all being mobilized to take a partisan position, which is antithetical to their mission and antithetical to the historical practice. That's a real worry. Because that takes the United States down a very dark road away from democracy and toward authoritarianism.
James Turk is the director of the Centre for Free Expression. James, thanks so much for joining us on CTV News Channel. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.